Good evening. Mr. Karate, can we get roll call, please?
Mr. Accomando,
Present.
Ms. Borelli,
Present.
Ms. Ianello,
Present.
Mr. Laurentino,
Present.
Ms. Mahoney, Mr. Shearer, Ms. Torbic,
Present.
Ms. Traverso,
Present.
Ms. Zattarelli.
Present.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, please be advised that all cell phones should be turned down or off. Okay. I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Violetti.
Thank you, Mr. Accomando. Okay, I have some updates from each of our buildings. So with our elementary schools, we started a period that's called BRIGHT. It's an acronym, and I don't have it on me what exactly it stands for, but it's our SEL period. And every Wednesday morning, there's more time dedicated for a BRIGHT period, where all the classes are doing SEL activities, social emotional learning activities, in their classrooms, and the teachers rotate around, so that way every student gets to know every staff member in the building, and vice versa. So they started it today. They're having a big reading kickoff with their summer reading projects next Friday, the 23rd, I believe. And they're very excited. They're going to do monthly meetings, and SEL books were ordered for each grade level for read-alouds. So Mrs. DeBona spearheaded this and very excited about kicking it off, and today was the first day. We also have our Chromebook initiative, so students in grades 3 to 12. Every single student is receiving a district-issued Chromebook. There is the $25 insurance fee. It is an annual fee. With that insurance fee, if anything happens to that Chromebook, every student will receive a free repair or a free replacement if needed from paying that $25 fee. So it is very important that that fee is paid. It is an annual fee. And if the students already had their Chromebooks from last year and kept them, they are still required to pay that $25 fee, otherwise that Chromebook will be returned back. And every student is required to have a district-issued Chromebook because it has all our programs on it, has our district firewalls on it, our Go Guardian application, our program that we use to monitor the online usage, all our testing that we do in district, everything is on our district Chromebooks. So I just wanted to explain that a little bit further. And you could pay that $25 insurance fee either via Pay Schools or a check made out to Saddlebrook Board of Ed, and send that check with your child to school, and it'll go to the main office, and then we will process it. Okay, I don't want to read. So Washington Preschool, they had the ribbon cutting ceremony with their phase 1 of their playground. The children were so excited. If you saw the pictures on social media, what you didn't see were all the children waiting on the other side. And then when they cut the ribbon, they all ran onto the playground and fully enjoyed it, all smiles. It was absolutely amazing. We already have some funds raised for phase 2 of the playground, so we're going to start promoting that as well. But it absolutely came out amazing. At our middle school, we had back to school night last night. At our middle school, high school, we had a great turnout. We also had Captain DeSantis from the FDNY. He presented to all of our 7th to 12th graders on 9/11, on his 9/11 experience, and that was great. He did it last year, and he came back this year to do it again. Picture day was today. Let's see. Athletics, all Saddlebrook High School sports teams are underway. They've all begun. Schedules can be found online, so please come out and support our athletic teams. I know the girls volleyball had a great game today. And I went to my first tennis match, which I learned a lot about tennis. I did not know anything about tennis, so that was fun. A sport that I knew nothing about, I fully admit it. I worked up the courage and I walked across the street to the tennis courts, and I learned all about tennis, and they did awesome. We have a really strong team as well. Curriculum and instruction. So our first 3 days of school was dedicated to professional development for our staff, and we went over all of our requirements from the state. So there's as you may or may not know, the state mandates a lot of professional development training for our staff, a lot of initiatives. So there's New Jersey tiered systems of supports, the INRS, special education, gifted and talented English language learners. There's all these option 2 mandated training programs. So we were proud that we were able to complete them all the first 3 days. I know it was a lot of information for the staff to take in. We did our best to be as accommodating as possible. We have our option 2 program at the high school. We have 39 students in alternative PE, meaning that if they play a varsity sport, they're able to opt out of PE because they're getting that activity requirements elsewhere. We have 18 students in college experience. We have 14 students in tomorrow's teacher mentorship. That's that new class that Ms. Lawrence is teaching with Rowan or Riders? I forget which college, starts with an R. And she has that underway, and it's huge. The kids are loving it. And we have 21 students in work-based learning. We also have our aviation program. It's off and running. Our flight simulators and our drones have arrived. They're all in Ms. Anjarambi's classroom, ready for usage by our students. Last night we had middle school, high school back to school night. We have all our elementary back to school nights scheduled. Our last one is September 28th. At each back to school night, I'll be present. I'll be sharing a little bit about our referendum question, a very brief overview about our December 13th referendum question. So it's starting it up. I shared out the flyers last night. I'll be sharing them at every back to school night. There'll be a table with leadership team members present to answer any questions. And then come October and November, we're going to host meetings. We're going to host virtual meetings, in-person meetings at all the buildings, so that way we can give tours of the buildings and let the community members see what we want to do to our buildings. We have our Blackboard app and mass notifications. So mass notifications is replacing School Messenger. We have that up and running. We have formal training on Monday, and we should be ready to go after that. So I sent out a message today about the Chromebook insurance fee. That was my test message. I believe it went through to everybody. So we're excited to get that up and running, and our district app, Saddlebrook School District app, should be up and running within the next 2 weeks at most, I would say. The board is scheduled, our goal setting meeting is going to be scheduled for October 6th. We are asking for the Chromebook insurance fee to be paid by Monday. Oh, and just so that you're aware, our seniors, our grade 12 students, are able to keep their district-issued Chromebook at graduation because there's no need. At that point, it's actually considered non-useful for the district, so they do get to keep that Chromebook at the end of 12th grade upon graduation. We would just take it and recycle it, so. Let's see. Oh, the other new thing is that each elementary school is going to have 2 additional clubs of their choice. So they get to choose, each school gets to choose a club that they want to do. So I know one of the schools is doing the safety club. Another school is doing a different type of club. So they're each choosing their own clubs, but we're excited to give them some initiative, some personality in each building to sort of choose the clubs that they want to lead. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Karati.
Just 2 quick items. The board self-evaluation, I sent emails to some members that need to still complete it. Like Ms. Violeti said, the meeting is October 6th. We try to get that done before then, so Mr. Lee can compile it and bring it to the October 6th meeting. So if you've received that email from me, if you could please do it as soon as possible. And the second one is the October school board workshop. I just asked if you could email me back to, if you definitely can't make it, so I can make those changes to the reservations. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay.
Oh, just one more item. I know we could hear you in the auditorium, but speaking into the microphone, because it picks up a lot better with the video. I know we had some issues with the video. We had some video issues with the live feed in August. We made some changes, or tech department made some changes. Something happened with the computer that evening, so we're hoping tonight it goes a lot smoother. But just if you could please pull the mic closer to you and speak into it, make sure it's on. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna open. Okay, can I get a motion to open the meeting for public comment?
So moved. Second.
Favor? Okay. Anyone wish to speak? This is great. Okay, motion to close.
So moved.
Favor? Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll move over to board action items. B 2223.5 to .6. Any question, comment? A motion? Can I get a second? Okay, Mr. Karati?
Okay, Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ianello?
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino?
Yes.
Try it again. Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes. Okay, Ms. Torbeck?
At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. E 2223.9. Oh, it's only three. To E 2223.11.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay. Mr. Karati?
Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ianello?
Yes, but I'm going to abstain, in F22,
We're not in F
never mind.
Not F, no. There's no F yet.
Yes or
I
no?
jumped the gun. Yes, everything else.
Social
What, do you have a date?
Social error.
Okay, Mr. Laurentino?
Yes to all, but I'm abstain in F2223.
No, not
yet.
F.
We're on E.
You guys are jumping the gun.
What are you guys
So
going out?
yes? Yes to everything, okay.
A little ahead of myself.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Ms. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Should I have said
Want the budget, want me to do it?
I could do it. You could do a motion.
Okay. On budget finance, being that Rich is busy with his school, I'd like to make a motion to approve the following items. F2223.15 all the way until .23.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Through the chair,
Sure.
on F2223.21, I'm just going to say I'm voting no. And I think the other night we went into closed and we were arguing over $2,000, and now we want to spend $65,000. We have that. I'm done.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Mr. Karati?
Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ianello?
Yes, except in F223.15, I'm going to abstain from check numbers 61629, check number 4337, and check number 4458. In F223.18, I'm going to abstain from item numbers 4 and 10. Yes to everything else.
Okay. Mr. Laurentino?
Right now I'm in the right spot. I'll vote yes to all, but abstain F2223.18, number 10 and 15.
Wait, what was number 10?
With the workshops,
Oh, you missed that one. Oh, the workshop, number 10, under 18.
10 and the principal submit both of them to one,
Okay. What were those numbers again? Sorry.
13 and 15.
13 and 15.
I thought it was 10 and 15.
Look at my handwriting, it's 13.
13 and 15 on number 18.
He did. I think he did.
Yes, let me check.
Oh. summertime.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes to all.
Ms. Torbic?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
yes,
Ms. Otterelli?
Yes to all except for 2223.21. I'm voting no. I'm no longer conflicted on anything else.
2-1. Okay. Mr. Accomando?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Laurentino.
Okay, at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items: P0143.2 through R2464.
Second.
Any discussion?
I think I might have missed, and this is the second reading on these.
Yep. Okay, Mr. Karati.
Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ainello?
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino?
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Ms. Torbic?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
yes,
Ms. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes. Okay, Ms. Otterelli.
At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve N2223.3. Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Karati.
Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ainello?
Yes.
Mr. Laurentino?
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Ms. Torbic?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
yes,
Ms. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes. Okay, Ms. Traverso.
at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. P2223.10 through P2223.17.
Second?
Any discussion?
Through the chair, I just want to wish Mr. Sakachi the very best of luck in the next chapter of his life. I've known him for a lot of years. He's a great guy. Good luck, Ed. Hope you hear it.
Ditto. Okay, anybody else?
And I'm sorry, there was one correction that didn't make, I think, your printout. In 2223.17, under the appointments, number 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Violetti, but that should be rescind versus revised.
That is correct.
So it's ID number 2 of .17, that's the rescind. So does Ms. Traverso and Ms. Mahoney agree to those changes?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, so now we can vote.
Okay. Mr.
Through the
Karati.
chair.
Yes.
On 2223.16, I just want to confirm there's no stipends involved in that. Those are just appointments, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Karati.
Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ainello?
Yes to all, but I'm going to abstain. And P 2223.16, item numbers 2, 5, 10, 11, and 24.
Just because you just say what you could.
Okay, Mr. Laurentino?
Yes to all, but I'm going to have to abstain under P2223.16, number 17, and number 24.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Ms. Torbic?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
yes,
Ms. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes. Okay. Any committee reports? Probably not, right?
No, Franklin School did not have a PTO meeting. They're going to use their back-to-school night as their PTO meeting and didn't have it yet.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to liaison.
Oh, it's just,
Ms. Torbic.
I gave mine on Monday
Okay.
for my committees.
Hmm?
I have something that's not a committee, so I'll wait till
Okay.
we go to new.
Ms. Iannello?
Yes. Just had it. Okay, so PTO board positions for the middle school, high school are up for grabs. If you are interested in a position, please email sbmshspr pto@gmail.com. So the positions that are available are president, vice president, treasurer, recording secretary, correspondence secretary. All new board members who would like to show an interest in participating would be shadowing the current board, and then they would be that for next year. There's open enrollment right now. We have 100 members as of right now, so we're very excited. And so just please come in and get involved. The next PTO meeting will be November 7th. It's going to be via Zoom. And Mr. Meisch will be sending out a link closer to that date.
Okay, thank you so much. Ms. Traverso.
Nothing for Long School at this time.
Okay, and I'll do Smith. The Smith PTO is running a membership drive this year, and they are giving every family, staff, and teacher member a calendar magnet with all of the important school and PTO dates as a thank you. Their first fundraiser is Mario's Pizza Day on 9/22 from 11:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. They also have their book fair coming on 10/3 to 10/6, including family night at the book fair on 10/3. The month of October is Reading Month, and we will be doing our annual readathon. We also have some new options in our spirit wear store, including a pink falcon logo in time for October. And the first PTO meeting will be on 10/6 at 7 p.m. They will be discussing their upcoming fall festival on October 13th and other fundraisers and events. Thank you. Okay, any correspondence? I got Kenzie again. Old business. New business.
I just wanted to mention that I was at the Women's Club, Saddlebrook Women's Club meeting last night, and they just wanted me to mention that they are having a turkey tray on October 28th. And they're going to kill me because I can't remember what they're calling it, but it's a spectacular kind of thing. I was looking to see if I could find the flyer, and I can't find it right this second. But if you're interested, you can go on the Facebook page for the Women's Club. And I know we're like really far away from that time, but it was also brought up at our meeting that they're not getting a lot of submissions for our scholarship. So I'm going to just say it so people hear it, that they do have a scholarship for any Saddlebrook student, whether they go to Saddlebrook High School or not, for seniors, and that they can get their applications here from guidance. And I'll keep saying that through the year.
It's hocus pocus.
Thank you. It's hocus pocus. Thank you. I knew it was something Halloween-y.
Thank you.
They're going to kill me for not remembering that, but thank you.
Okay, and being that we got cut off on Monday, I'm going to reread the email I got from
Mr. Fuchs.
Mr. Fuchs, the art man, about Albert Gorab's passing. Al Gorab dedicated 35 years of his life to the students and parents of Saddlebrook. He was the inaugural principal of Long Memorial School. He was then appointed as superintendent of schools. He continues to be the longest-serving superintendent of schools in town's history. He retired in 1990 after spending the majority of his tenure in Saddlebrook as superintendent. He was beloved by his students, their parents, the teachers, the staff, and his fellow administrators. Through the years, many a former student has posted a heartwarming story about him, both as principal and superintendent of schools. Patricia and I have stayed in constant contact with him all these years. We'll never forget about his compassion and love for all of Saddlebrook's teachers. After his retirement, he dedicated himself to his wife Phyllis, his sons and grandchildren. In the past year, he was diagnosed with numerous health issues. He was on dialysis 3 times a week due to his failing kidneys. While he was dealing with his own health concerns, his wife Phyllis was diagnosed with early stages of Alzheimer's. In addition, his son Jeffrey was enduring numerous serious health issues and multiple surgeries. Through it, he continued to take care of his wife's every need. This past week, Al called me to tell me that his son Jeff had passed away. I can still hear him crying on the phone while trying to get those horrible words out. Saturday night, we came home to see that he had called again. So I immediately called him back. When the call was answered, I called him by the moniker that I had given him as the Big Cheese. You can't imagine the shock when I realized that it was his son, Stephen, on the other line, informing me that he passed away the night before. I can only speak for my wife and I when I say that it will be a just and fitting memorial to this beloved man to have an administration building dedicated in his honor. I'm positive that when you speak to any resident of the town that knew Al, they would agree. And he welcomes our thoughts on this matter. So our condolences to the family, and thank you for the email. And that's it from me. Okay. I'd like to open the meeting to the public for comment. A motion?
Motion.
Second. Anyone wish to sit down, Jeff? Sit. Okay. Residents are requested to state their names, address, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of this meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5-minute durations. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments, and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Hey, knock it off. I don't want to hear a peep out of you, Mr. Taylor.
Jerry Taylor, 318 Shepherd's Avenue. Basically, all my questions are going to be towards the referendum and everything associated with that. As Sylvia brought up, this Laura Bishop Communications, $65,000. What are they going to do for $65,000? Through the chair. Do we know what they're going to do?
Well, you can ask all your questions. Sorry, you could ask all the questions and I'll answer you right away as soon as you're done.
Oh, we're not going to go one for one? No?
No,
Okay.
not that kind of fight.
No, listen, you're not going to fight with me. Also, if you look at the sheet, shall we say, you got 3 questions up here, and that's the way it's going to be presented, as 3 questions on the referendum, just the way we see it, correct? Because question 1 has the artificial turf and lights, and question 3 also says the additional turf field and lights. Now, 2 different fields. Why don't we just separate the fields and the lights for the high school field as one question, and then go with all your school stuff with your other questions? Because if you do that, that will pass. As it sits right here, just my opinion only, none of this will pass. Because it's very confusing looking at this, because you got each school listed with a portion of something that wants to be done. You want the roofs to be done in the one question, you want an elevator installed on another question for the same school. Why can't we just have it all together? And as I recall from a previous referendum, didn't we have a ton of money towards fixing the roofs, windows and stuff like that? The roofs have to be replaced already? Doesn't make sense. And what would be the estimate for the taxes per year for the homeowner based upon the value of what house? And also, has there been an increase in our students overall that we have to require this new building to be built? if that's the case, so be it. But as far as I know, that there's no reason to put a new building in the back, one, because of the flooding issue. And if you put a basin in the back, it's just gonna make it worse because the water has no place to go, all right? And plus, when I was on the board, there's wetlands back there. So am I assuming that the architect already looked into the wetlands issue, that you can't go anywhere near it? Because when we tried to do it back in the early 2000s, the wetlands was basically what killed the deal. You couldn't even go near the wetlands. And as we all know, anytime it rains hard, that back field's gonna flood. And if you're gonna put a turf field back there, it's just gonna flood. You're gonna wind up just replacing it every year. And it's just gonna be a waste of money. On that note, have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Okay, motion to close?
Motion.
Favor? Aye, okay.
Okay. I will take some time to address some of those concerns. Thank you. All great questions and all items that, as we host future meetings, we'll be addressing all of these questions. I'll start with the item on the agenda this evening, the Laura Bishop. She's a PR person. This is her area of expertise, is doing PR for referendums. So I will admit that at first I was definitely a little hesitant as well. I made the flyer. I can create a Google site. There's plenty of things that I can do that I don't mind doing at all. When I started creating the Google site for the referendum, I was using Waldwick's referendum site as my point of reference. I loved everything they had, so I started copying it, doing as much as I could. I started it several months ago, and if you go on our website, you can see how far I got. I did not get very far at all. I later found out that Waldwick used Laura Bishop. She's the one that created their website. If you search Waldwick referendum, Montville referendum, East Rutherford referendum, Emerson referendum, they all use Laura Bishop. She had passed 13 times, consecutively had referendums passed, and she's the expert. So I can do so much, but the verbiage she uses, the strategy she uses in creating these videos, coaching people, creating the websites, the colors, the slogans that are on the website. So if you go and you take a look, you can see the perk of using a PR person. So that's the story behind that one. As far as the 3 questions, there's lots of experts. I don't claim to be an expert in referendum writing. So we went out to the experts, and believe it or not, if you have a turf and lights question, more so than not, if it's on its own, it fails. And that's just what the research shows you. So we strategize, is that a word? Thank you. We strategized, and it was not a quick, simple decision at all. I will let you know that these questions took months and months for us to just go over, revise them, meet with the experts again, and determine them. The roofs and windows, so any repairs, any work that we're doing on existing buildings, we get 40% back from the state. So it's a perk to kind of have a referendum with questions where we're doing items to the buildings. I can tell you as far as the roofs go, I do not know when the last time we had the roofs installed, but I can tell you that they are leaking. There's leaks in a lot of our classrooms. I can tell you that they are definitely in need of a repair. Estimate taxes for the year, I'll let you know that what we currently have is on the average assessed house at $407,000. It originally was $272 per year, an annual increase in taxes per year, and I think it's up to $290 right now with the increase, and we're looking to stop it there. But that's all going to be shared at our future meetings. Increase in student population, currently we're 76 students higher than we were last year. We definitely had an influx this year. Our grade levels are definitely at the highest, but that's not why we chose to do this referendum. It more so came to fruition because of our strategic planning sessions and because of our lack of space in the buildings. It's not so much the student population increase, it's the increase in state mandates. And this is what we'll be sharing at our future meetings. It's the increase in math basic skills mandate, reading specialist mandate, dyslexia interventionist mandate, ESL mandate, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech pathologists. You need space for all of these personnel in a building, in every single building. And that's where we're lacking. We're converting storage closets to these small instructional spaces that are just not truly conducive to learning. So we're doing our best, but we can do better. And if we want to bring programs back to this high school, we want an aviation lab. Right now, the flight simulator is in the back of a biology classroom. Our Tomorrow's Teachers is in a regular small classroom. If we want these labs and to really build and grow our programs in Saddlebrook, and if we're thinking about middle school mentality and their development, their growth all around, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade does belong together. The state recognizes 6th, 7th, and 8th grade as the middle school years. Curricular programs are sold 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That's why your K-5 student may have one math book and your 6th grader has a different math book. Those teachers, those students, they're flying solo right now. So there is a need for it. But all of this information will be shared at future meetings that we will be hosting in October and November. So please be on the lookout for those. We're excited.
Ray has one, too.
Oh, and the flooding. So are you going to address that?
Oh, I could do that. Yeah. So I'll pick up on the roofs. I think it might be back in Mr. Taylor's time. It was 2003, 4, I know it was done in 2005. The additions that were put on the schools, well, those roofs are now 17 years old, and they do need to get replaced. Those are the areas that are starting to leak. The roofs we did in the last referendum in 2014 replaced large sections of roofing, and that's good. We're not doing any part of that. So we're trying to address the areas that need to get done. We don't have enough money in our capital budget. This is our shot to ask the voters to do this. With the tax impact later, which we'll go in more detail, there's debt that's maturing, so it'll lessen the impact to the taxpayers. As far as all the professionals costs are in the total referendum cost. So we have the architect that's doing a lot of work now, our bond counsel, financial advisor, and then from there, you've seen on the last few agendas, we've had a survey approved. We're doing the survey of, to make sure we have the boundaries of our property. We have an environmental study done, which they'll be filing an application with the DEP, so we are doing that. Yes, it is all money, and that's why it's put into referendum. Everybody pays this stuff. We can't file that. I mean, I was out there with the environmentalists. I mean, they're picking out weeds and doing borings in the soil. I have no idea what they're doing, but I learned a few things. But I definitely cannot do that and file an application with the DEP. So we are covered. We're trying to do as much as we can, dot all our I's, cross all our T's, and make this a successful referendum.
And what's the total amount?
And I will also just jump in as well. So as far as the increase in student population, that might not be as dramatic as one may think, but there has been an increase in the number of students being classified as special education. And with that also comes mandates. So there's a certain number of students that can be in one classroom. If it's an ABA classroom, it's 6 students. If it's an LLD classroom, it's 10 or 12 students. If it's a resource room, it's 12 students. So you need space for all of these different programs that we have in district. And I think that's another piece that's not recognized by people not in education, because it's illegal. You're not able to have classrooms with more than that number of students. It is state law. So that's something else, another mandate that we're required to abide by.
Okay, thank you. 1 second, Chair. Yeah, the total was, yeah.
And we'll have more information on this as well, but the total of the 3 questions right now, we're looking at, question 1 is 48.9 million. Question number 2 is 6.7 million. And question number 3 is a little over $3 million, for a total of 58, it's hard to read on the phone, but 58.7 million. And in there is, like Ms. Violetti said, some state monies that will offset that, and that's how the question's worded to the voters, and that's why, again, we use the professionals, and they'll dictate what we need to put in there, but we will have a lot of detail at these future meetings.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Through the chair, can I go back to personnel? I just want to ask a question.
Okay.
Now that Mr. Sakachi is officially retired, are we hiring more custodians, maintenance, whatever you want to call them?
We have current open postings.
We have how many?
For how many?
Gosh, 2, I want to
Oh.
say. Open postings for custodian maintenance.
Well, right now, it'd just be his position.
His position. Oh, we have someone at Franklin nighttime. That's right. He just didn't start yet, waiting for
Yeah, the one
Franklin.
didn't start yet. We hired him last meeting, yeah.
So I'm
Just
going
one.
to hire one more?
Yeah, just to replace Mr. Sakachi.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Sotarelli. Okay, the future board meeting will be October 10th. 12th, I'm sorry, because we're closed that day. It will be October 12th at 7 PM.
School is open on the 10th.
School's open on the 10th, but it's, what holiday is that again? Columbus Day. And I would like to adjourn the open session.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Have a good evening. And we'll see you at the football.